Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Mr. Robot. Last time on Mr. Robot, we had EPS 1.5 underscore brave-traveler.asf as salty fuck. That's not what that stands for, but that's what it should stand for. And I was also very salty after the last episode. Not because it was a bad episode, mind you, but because Elliot had to deal with Vera and Shayla died. It sucked! It sucked. Like, it was obviously, it was a good episode, but it just sucked. Shayla's dead. It sucks. And yeah, that's why I am as salty fuck. ASF. That doesn't work, does it? That's okay. I don't know where we're going next. Like, I guess we're still on the whole taking down Evil Corp. Yeah. That's that. I guess we can go ahead and get into this episode. Here we go. We have to deal with the aftermath, don't we?
Shit.
This is back in the day.
You know, I do know of a guy who sells the Blackstone. He's supposed to be a fucking psychopath, but if you want, I can call him. You might be worth a psychopath. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh.
Sorry, I haven't talked to you in a while. I mean, it's only been a month, which I guess in the grand scheme of things isn't that long.
It's been a month since the last episode.
Isn't our life? She wants more from me, but she doesn't believe in me.
I tried because I believe some part inside of you wants to do this right.
You? Are you on her side?
I'm not sure. So wait, she's dumping you or is she not dumping you?
We've been sitting on opposite sides of the negotiating table for 2 decades. I'm not some joker come out of the woodwork trying to scam Colby for millions. I'm giving him the only glimmer of hope he's had.
We'll pass along your offer. Thanks for your time.
I like that guy's voice. Okay, well, they're doing something. She did say that she had a chance.
View source. What if we had that for people? Would people really want to see?
Nah. Hold still so I can
Find
see all
someone
these.
to be your honest self with. Bullshit.
Nah.
Tape backups already shipped to all the new Steel Mountain facilities, and
Yeah.
we still haven't found a way around that.
You've got a lot of work.
And God's laughing.
Damn. I'm liking Darlene more and more as the episodes go on.
You'll never be able to afford that tuition and unemployment. Sorry?
You're fired!
Tuh.
You too as well.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
making sure
both
you all receive the
okay.
minimum severance packages.
What did we do?
Nothing.
He just needs people to fire.
You said you would update me. I needed to
Tyrell is so fun.
the state's attorney.
He's so weird. I love him.
Thought you was one of them high schoolers stole my mom's chaise lounge.
Well, as heartbreaking as it is to hear that, you're gonna have to put that off. Getting everybody back together. Come on.
Oh man, not this time. I'm out.
You can't be out. We need you.
Look,
Out
man, I got
are
a
you?
new set of people to... And what exactly are you gonna do if I decide to cross that border?
Oh shit. You are smaller.
Meryl, you and I both know I'm crazy.
Nah.
Not
Yeah.
the cute kind either. I'm talking crazy!
You already took the gun.
I am clearly too crazy for you to say no to.
Nah.
Hey! Look on your face, priceless.
Goddamn lunatic.
That's
You
pretty
gave
much
me
what he
your word when
said.
we started this thing that you'd finish it. I gave you my word what I'd do if you didn't.
Nah.
See you back at the arcade.
I'm gonna answer your question. But here's what I need from you first. So I'm gonna pull down my pants. And then I'm gonna need you to take that pouty mouth of yours and swallow up my balls. Now, they're big and hairy, especially the left ones. You're really gonna have to, I don't know, squish them up to get them inside there.
Why you gotta be
Probably
specific?
have to do one cheek at a time.
If you don't take this deal, you'll become like me. People will still think that you're guilty. Losing everyone's respect. The respect of people you know and the people you don't. It's a shitty feeling. Trust me.
But you fools actually got your wish.
I don't know what the meeting's actually gonna be on. I tell you to be careful, but I know that's the last thing you're gonna be.
Well, I guess it worked.
What was the meeting like when you decided this?
I get it. You want to know, like, what was it like? Like, did we all have cigars and laugh hysterically as we signed the evil documents? So Elaine brought us a platter of shrimp cocktail to tide us to dinner, which pissed us off because we just had a platter at the holiday party. Jim opened the bar. Now, Jim was a real piece of work. I mean, half pansy, half mafia. First sign of a tight decision, he'd be chain smoking, down a river of scotch.
You were drunk, eating shrimp cocktail, and it was raining when you decided my mother would die? That's why. So people like you won't keep sitting in rooms together. Did any of it ever give you or anyone pause when you made those decisions?
Sure. But then you go home and you have dinner, you know, and you wake up the next morning.
Life moves on. Just business.
Here's to a man who has a bright future at our company. A man you all know. A man who's going to change this company for the good.
Meanwhile, in a room with a bunch of executives.
Should have known that you were nothing more than a bold entrance.
You saying you don't crave a bold entrance every time, over and over? Sustained. Meet me tonight.
I'm a little busy.
Look, we're talking like an
Come to my office
entrance.
Are you really asking?
Man, fucking on a roof. It's ballsy in a night breeze. Wait. This choking seems a little bit more intense than it should be. Okay, this isn't like foreplay choking. Was that the plan? That doesn't look like it was the plan. You could try to, like, resuscitate her. I don't know if it would work, but you could try. Unless this is the plan. Well, that's that. She's dead.
When the Dark Army bailed, you didn't care if pushing a button would bring an economic revolution. You want momentary anarchy. The others, Mobley likes palling around. Romero wants a whiff of fame. Those reasons depress me. My parents were born in Iran. They came here like everybody else, for freedom, but my dad worked 60-hour weeks to determine tax loopholes for a millionaire art dealer. My mom, she ran up loans in 5 digits to get an online degree. They won't shut up about how great America is. But they're gonna die in debt, doing things they never wanted to do.
Hi, operator. I'd like to report an emergency. I placed a malicious CD in my work computer, and now this guy at the gym is saying hi to me.
I'm going home.
I need you to do something for me. If you don't do what I say, then the giant shitstorm that raids turds later will leave a trail of clouds in the sky spelling out your name.
Okay, then.
I've been lying to you.
Ooh.
I don't take my pills. But you don't either.
He's confessing.
Your refill frequency for Ativan doesn't match your prescription divided by the dosage.
Nah. Confessing to the hacks.
You like porn, especially anal. Whether you like it yourself, I don't know. That's not relevant to me. You've told your best friend Jennifer that you wish your mom would die.
Why are you...
Sometimes watch you on your webcam.
Why are you confessing
Cry
this?
sometimes. I don't just hack you, Krista. I hack everyone. My friends, co-workers. But I've helped a lot of people.
This music is making him as ominous as he should be.
I want a way out of loneliness. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Oof. Add in a confession on top of this episode. Well, I mean, I hesitate to say, like, in between episode, and obviously none of this is filler, you know, which I also hesitated on saying last time we had something like that. It's definitely an episode where it's like there's not a big event happening, but there are things that are happening, obviously. Probably the biggest, I'd say the biggest one would be Angela and Colby. So, yeah. But a good episode, definitely. I mean, from the beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, there's got to be some aftermath to Shayla, and there is. So yeah, and that definitely at the end, that's sort of all of that finally getting to him where he needs to confess. So that was good. But yeah, we can go into the notes. I didn't write down like a ton of things again because, you know, once again, you know, I hesitate to say like, oh, this is an in-between episode, but it's more of a, I don't know. I don't know like what I would call it really, you know? So, but the first thing I wrote down was Shayla. It's been a month since Shayla's death, which is interesting. You know, even starting off with him saying it's like, oh, it's been a while. It's been about a month since I've talked to you, you know? And and, you know, a month later, things, I don't know, they, like, pretty much everyone, like, hasn't really done anything for the past month, you know? Like, even down to Tyrell hasn't really done too much in terms of his story, you know? So that's interesting. I wrote down view source. That was interesting. Sort of basically the, you know, it's the title of the episode, view source. And that's definitely the theme of this episode. You know, when Gideon says like, oh, you know, you need someone who you can be your honest self with. And I'm thinking that is actually going to be Krista now. Wait, hold on. That is her name, right? Let me, like, double check that. Yeah, it's Krista. Okay. I don't know why suddenly now, when I say Krista, mainly because there's, on Attack on Titan, there's a character named Krista. And I'm so used to that Krista that now, for some reason, as I'm saying the name of this show's Krista, when I'm saying this show's Krista, like, that gave me pause for a sec. Anyway. But yeah, it's seeming like Krista is going to be Elliot's person, basically, which is interesting. And especially, too, because, we didn't really see her reaction, basically, to what Elliot was saying. His confession, basically, to her. So yeah, that was interesting. I don't have too many pages left on here, do I? 3, 4... It looks like 5 pages. I don't know why I suddenly got distracted by that, but yeah. I need a new notebook soon. Anyway. This thing's lasted me about a year, which is pretty good. Anywho. So yeah, view source, which is good, a good theme to this episode. Again, I like that pretty much every episode has a theme to it, and obviously that takes the title. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. I like when they showed, he just looks out at all the other Allsafe employees, and they all just have a sign on them like that. So that was interesting. They were a little hard to read. I mean, you don't need to look too closely at them, but it was a little hard to read just with the editing. It was a bit jittery. I couldn't concentrate on it. Anyway, we had the whole thing with Angela and Colby, which was interesting. And the fact that she did actually get to him, So last episode when she was saying we need someone, basically. We need one person who was there who made that decision. And she decided to go for Colby because Colby had... Well, basically because she could get leverage on him, mainly with, the DAT file. So that was an interesting way of doing that. And yeah, because at first it's okay, Colby, he's not going to answer these questions, talking about putting his balls in her mouth and stuff. Ugh. I can't... it's gross to think about. Hair in a mouth is the most gross thing in the world. So I can't friggin' Well, obviously I don't want to imagine that, but geez, just the imagery that he has. And the left one's really hairy. Shut the hell up, you prick. But he does come around and is okay, yes, I will do this, So yeah. So that was interesting. I'm not sure. I have to go back to the scene, specifically, why... Let me see if I can find it. Why exactly did he agree to it?
My lawyers are looking over the paperwork.
Does that mean that...
Exactly what I said. I asked you back here to make sure that you can pull off your testimony. Make sure that this chain of custody story goes straight. I can't afford any trips.
I mean, it is getting him...
I'm not going to trip.
I mean, it's basically, like he says, it basically gets him off scot-free for this, It gets him off scot-free for the whole thing with the DAT file, which is interesting. But... So it is a benefit to him, which is why he's doing it. But yeah, and I guess he was kind of hit with, when she says you're going to be just like me, you're going to lose all respect, and that's a tough thing to have happen, even if people, basically people are still going to think you're guilty no matter what. So this will allow him to possibly, I guess, maybe repair his life a little bit. And so he's taking that opportunity, even though he's going to have to basically testify about the room where it happened, as it would be, which was interesting. Just talking about the room, what was the room like when they decided this stuff. And honestly, yeah, it's it's just sort of a normal room. They were having cocktails, drinking some scotch. It reminded me of the line. This is maybe an odd reference, but the line in Pirates of the Caribbean 3, mainly with Cutler Beckett, who's such an interesting villain in that movie, but it's just him. One of his big lines is just, "It's just good business." And that's the thing, and it's so interesting for him as a villain, in a movie about like Davy Jones and stuff. Here's just this fucking businessman. Why is he a villain? Because his business basically conflicts with your existence. And it's honestly, it's just kind of the same thing here. It's like Colby, it wasn't some malicious thing of, fuck up, we're just gonna, it wasn't like anything like that. Don't gif that. That was dumb as shit. Anyway, but it wasn't like this evil scheme or anything like that of the evil corporation. It's like, it was just business, It was just business. But, and that's the thing, he even says, like, after that, I went home, had dinner, went to bed, got up the next morning. Life moves on. It's just business. And I like Angela saying, it's like, because he asks, like, okay, what do you get out of this? Why, you hate me, clearly, but you're gonna let me go scot-free. Why, what do you get out of this? And she says, it's so I can stop a room like that from happening, basically. So I would assume that would mean, like, if he testifies about this, this is going to put shit on Evil Corp, and because of that, maybe she's thinking that businessmen basically will think twice before they do something like this, something that could potentially kill people, So I really like that. I feel like Angela was definitely the Angela Colby story was definitely, I think, the highlight of the episode. So, and then moving on to some of the other stuff, we had Mr. Robot and Romero, which was interesting, and it was interesting, sort of putting the two different ways of like getting F Society back together, where Darlene goes over. Shit, what's her name? I'm getting close on all their names, What the hell is her name? Shit, where is she in the cast list? Was it Trenton? Was that it? Must have been. Yeah. I don't see any. It must have been. I guess it's Trenton. So, and if I'm wrong about that, you feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm screwing up, if I'm mixing up character names. But we're gonna go with Trenton for now. But when Darlene goes to Trenton and talks about like why they joined and stuff, and they say like, oh, their reasons, like Romero just wants a whiff of fame and stuff like that, whereas she does want to build a better world. Her parents came to America hoping to find the greatness of America, but instead they're going to die in debt, not being able to do what they wanted to do with kind of the American dream, the false American dream, basically. So that's why she wants to do this. And then juxtaposing that with Mr. Robot going and re-recruiting Romero, which is basically, you're going to come back or I'm going to fucking kill you. Which is a very interesting contrast to that, But yeah, it definitely, it highlights more of his insanity, basically. Because, I mean, we've had a little bit of that throughout. We've had little bits of that. But then, a couple episodes ago when Elliot was talking about, like, okay, what's the fault of everyone? And he says, and Mr. Robot's fault, he's fucking insane, And while it's like, yeah, you can understand, it's like, this is the point where it's like, he's fucking insane. Like, this is basically to hit you and remind you, it's like, this guy, there's something fucked up about this guy. We don't know who this guy is or where he came from. And granted, he has talked a little bit about, like, his story and stuff, but it's like, this guy is one weird shit, So, it was just interesting having those two sort of juxtaposed, talks of getting the band back together. So, yeah. Fucking Tyrell killed Sharon. What the fuck? Was that the intention? I don't think that was the intention. Like, I don't know. He did go over, and he did go over, he cleaned himself off of her, cleaned all fingerprints and stuff, but I don't know, that did not seem, because I'm trying to think, like, okay, what's the benefit here? Because it's like, she was saying, like, oh, well, Scott's gonna fire you, and you're just desperately clinging to whatever you can, so you're hoping that if you can fuck me, then he'll keep you. And then he doesn't argue, they just start fucking, and then he kills her. So I don't know if that was the plan, like, if this was, like, I don't know if this was the plan, but damn, man, that's intense. I don't know. Tyrell maybe, to me, like, the most interesting character, just because he's almost like a James Bond villain, except he doesn't have James Bond, like, we're watching a guy become a Bond villain, like he's kind of ridiculous, in a way. I really like him, but he is kind of ridiculous, and he is still, like, obviously he's kind of in his own story right now, where he's the protagonist of his own story, so it's weird to watch, like, this Bond villain become, being a protagonist and going against, right now his antagonist is Scott, so it's just so fascinating to watch, But yeah, I don't know if it was the plan to kill Sharon or not, but that definitely, I don't know, that's going to be pretty crazy. Well, I definitely am very curious about how that's going to play out. And then the last thing I wrote down is the confession at the end, where Elliot does confess to Krista. Basically, he shows the source. Krista is now his person he can confide in. I said that right. Yeah, confide. He can talk to about this stuff, and that's, it's kind of risky, just coming out and saying, it's like, I hack you, I watch you, I know you like anal porn, and I hack a lot of other people, but I do a lot of good. Let me just talk to you, which is exactly, I mean, she's pretty much always wanted that. He's always sort of kept things in. But now, a month after Shayla's death, is like, okay, he needs to, actually have someone he can talk to, and he's chosen Krista. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it. Good episode. Really, really enjoyed it. And I am interested to see where we are going next time. So, yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Mr. Robot reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.